relevant again.
You already know.
Relevant again. Make
Say,
Calcutta relevant
say.
again.
Let's get it.
Hello and welcome to the first episode of Make Calcutta Relevant Again, the podcast. You are here with your hosts for today.
Shabba and Meghdud, welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast. So Make Calcutta Relevant Again is something that we started a couple of years ago, where the whole idea was changing this narrative around Calcutta for Calcutta.
Like the lad
culture. I mean, there's also beauty in it. There's beauty in a lot of things, but we have to make sure that the city is relevant for its time, for the young people. And I'm not saying that, okay, let's make Calcutta into the next Bombay, or because Calcutta can never be that.
Yeah.
That's not the point. But keeping the core and the soul of the city intact, for giving renewed focus on all of the initiatives that are happening here, on all the change makers of Calcutta. And in that way, we've somehow managed to get two amazing people who've redefined the way that food is done from Calcutta and the way that Calcutta food is perceived everywhere in the world.
because what is Calcutta without its food? And the two guests for us today are Sagar Daryani of Wow Momo and Anjan Chatterjee of Specialty Group of Restaurants.
So the moment is here.
The moment is here. We have two guests with us, guests that we honestly love, not only because of the food that has warmed our hearts and soul for so long, but also how they have truly and literally made Calcutta relevant again.
Again, no, they have always.
They always made Calcutta relevant, yes.
And I feel like Shabba practiced this speech. Puro mukhasta kore eshe, it was like warmed our hearts and soul. Said it in such a nice way. But yes, we have two legends with us today. Two legends from the food business in India. If you look at the scope, we have Anjan Chatterjee of Specialty Restaurants, and we have Sagar Daryani of Wow Momo. And we are so glad that they could make time out and come and hang out with us. And I don't know what to expect out of, because we've not done this before. And hopefully this will be so much fun, and we'll get to learn a lot from you. And
yeah, so I think till now we've made food fun. Today we are here to have some real fun.
Let's do that then. And we've all grown up listening to both of you, especially people who are interested in entrepreneurship in this city. We've grown up listening to all of you on talk shows, on panel discussions, and you see a very different side, right? You see, talking about business, and you're talking about your growth year on year. But I think today's conversation is not just going to be restricted to that. We want to know a little bit about your lives. We heard you are a grandfather now, right?
Yeah, I'm grandfather.
Grandfather of two.
Yeah.
Two beautiful grandsons.
Let's talk about that. Let's start the conversation with your grandsons. What's your relationship like with your grandkids?
You see, I've been an absentee father. So my daughter warned me, saying that there's no way that you can be an absentee grandfather. So I have to make time out, and I think that's the best time of my life now.
So you're making up for like being an absentee
Absolutely
father,
right. And that's the best time. So if I'm not even going to Lonavala, we have a small pad there. I go to Pune, spend time, have to adjust their time. One of them is in school. And when they come, like they're here in Bombay now, I mean, it's like complete riot. So from morning to the evening, the first one is 4.5.
Yeah,
Aryan,
baby.
Avian is just 6 months. Born in October. So this is completely a different kind of a side of life, which, I mean, everyone should go. I mean, Sagar has not even, proposed to anyone.
Single, still, I'm completely ready to mingle. So Kolkata, you hear me out, ready to mingle.
and the most eligible bachelor, I mean, if I may say
so.
so.
Look at your year-on-year growth, also very
Anjanda, I've always looked up to Anjanda, like, and I mean, really looked up to him like a guruji. Like, if I meet him, I'll hug him, I'll touch his feet. And him saying most eligible bachelor means a lot to me. Din bana diya mera.
You are, yeah. I was talking to you about the fact that, if you see his success, or anybody who does anything which is, worth its while, you'll see a PhD, which is my father's taught me, passion, hard work, and discipline.
Wow.
So the fact that like he is, one person, or maybe we are drunk on food. We believe that, I mean, if there's an idea here or two, I mean, we'll pick it up, do something or the other with that. So you basically, you are not, আমি বাংলায় বলছি, মানে আমরা চাকরি করিনি, ছেড়ে দিয়েছি, আনন্দবাজার পত্রিকা বা তাজ ছেড়েছি, বাট সাবজেক্টে চাকরি করি আমরা। যে মানুষ সাবজেক্টে চাকরি করে, you are a chakor to your subject and
Yeah.
you are there. I mean, whether you talk about medical profession or your profession, any profession for that matter. So I strongly believe that is what drives you. You know, it actually, of course, there's money, there's one side of the left brain, there's PNLs, etc., which you learn over a period of time. But then surely it's all about the passion, the fact that you have set a benchmark and you have a rep to protect.
And no better way to get to people, especially in Bengal. I think if you look at the way to anybody's hearts is through their stomach, right? We've heard that from.
And I must tell you, they're the most discerning customers you can get on earth, and they're very, very detailed in their understanding, taste. To be, in fact, I'll tell you the story when Calcutta, after Bombay was coming to Calcutta, everybody told me that, boss, you have no hope. Bengalis are not going to pay for a meal, and we charge quite a respectable level because our levels are different. So I'm so happy the mission of the food of Calcutta, which we started with only fish, which actually hate khodi hoyi
became
Calcutta later on. So that mission to put the food of Calcutta on the, I wouldn't call it Bengal because we do all kinds of food within that, the club cuisine. And in Chaurangi in London that we've opened, we do charts. Vardhan Market charts, rolls, etc. So
you know, I've heard so many people like from Calcutta, from Bengal, rave about the one in London that is open Chaurangi. And it looks एक प्राइड फीलिंग होता है भाई लंदन में जाके चौरंगी का नाम डाल दिया
truly making Calcutta relevant.
Making Calcutta relevant.
You walk towards Oxford Circle and you get Chaurangi all of a sudden. I know where it is, Marble Arch.
Yeah, that's right. Another interesting thing there is that a friend of mine said that, you know, जो लॉर्ड क्लाइव ने बैटल ऑफ पलासी करके यहाँ पे अटैक किया था वो उसका बदला तुम ले रहे हो वहां जाके बंगाल्स
और भी खाना खिला के
with
love and emotion.
The only way that we can do it.
Love and emotions. We people like us, you know, when we talk about making Calcutta relevant, I think we are the brand ambassadors for Calcutta and we need to go and out there and talk about Calcutta. People say Calcutta में action नहीं होता है, Bengal में action नहीं होता है, and then, you know, I walk up to the best mall in Bombay or Bangalore. I'll see a Manyavar there, I'll see a GKB Opticals there. I'll see brands from Calcutta, right? And okay, you talk about talent in Calcutta. One of the Lenskart founder is from Calcutta. One of the Cast 24 founders from Calcutta. So Calcutta has talent. It has that intellectual property. And you know, when you build businesses like what we are trying to do in the food space, I'm sure someone's doing in the tech space, you're doing with education, with medical, talent is not going to go out, it's going to stay here. And I think that's what is happening, and that's what the new age Bengal or new age Calcutta is all about. I mean, मैं तो बोलता हूँ Calcutta is the food capital of the country.
Yeah.
Right? I completely agree with you.
Food capital, people understand taste, and if you're good, they'll make you a king.
Yeah.
There's no gray area here, black or white. आप अच्छे हो तो आपको किंग बना देंगे, आप अच्छे नहीं आपको मुंह में बोल देंगे. You have to improve.
अरे यार तुम लोग थोड़ा fight करो यार. From the beginning you keep doing his
हम
praises.
प्यार
He
मोहब्बत
keeps
वाले
doing your praises. And then
I tell you, it sounds like a mutual admiration society, but that's not the point. The point is that, you know, there is very little conflict. Now what we have done, whatever, he's like a younger brother. We've known each other for a long time. Also, it is important in your shows, dishum, so you can say, you know, in no offense meant, so many news channels keep on showing that, shouting. So, in a synergistic mode, Adda becomes better. And there's so many things which open up, like from life, because we are all from school of life. हमने कोई पढ़ाई करके कोई no offense meant to the IIMs of the world or etc. वहाँ तो school of life जो सिखाता है वो कुछ नहीं सिखा सकता.
Trial error करके सीखा है. And you know, I'll be very honest with you. Anjan is in the Oriental cuisine space. I am in the Oriental cuisine space. But you know, the kind of respect and regard. I mean, I was in Delhi for an event and I was about to be a speaker after him. And as I entered the auditorium, he's talking about me on stage. I mean, so this is like, you know, he's talking about a Calcutta boy.
Love it.
Yeah, that's a Calcutta connection, by the way. I promise to you, I may not do it for anybody else. I would, because I have known him and I have known his, you know, fight, and I know because I'm from the industry, and that's where you come back how to make Calcutta relevant.
Smallest
Support
store.
each other.
Support each other. Smallest store. I've met him in Delhi, in Bombay. I've had lunch with him, you know, dinner with him on occasions. Calcutta Club. We've shared our struggles, and you know, in our industry we understand what struggle it is, right?
लोग कहते हैं कि, you know, you don't, in the soil of Calcutta you don't have entrepreneurship, which is completely wrong. I mean, in your case, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting it. And also another group which I worked, I was regional head of Bombay in Anand Bazar Patrika. So I have also seen that very low profile company going national, international, second and a third generation coming in.
Yeah,
So
the Sarkars
people
have
don't
done
talk.
really
Yeah,
well.
of course.
Like
Legendary. Mr. Arup Sarkar was my boss. So I've seen that very closely happening. And now look at the extension of the television expansion. They're all number one channels. Digital,
News
that's
channel is
right.
the best performing.
Yeah. And also the languages, Star Maja and the Star News. So what I'm saying is that it's not that it is not in the soil of Bengal or Calcutta. It is the fact that one thing in entrepreneurship, you tell me what is the biggest lesson that you have learned?
Biggest lesson I've learned is that hashtags mistakes are good. And I keep saying this, as long as you learn from them. Mistakes are good. बहुत हाथ जलाया है. So I'll tell you what, life of an entrepreneur for me has been nothing other than a Bollywood blockbuster. I'm blessed to where I am. There have been days and nights where, I've been so happy, I haven't been able to sleep out of excitement.
And you've also been so sad.
Yeah, and then there have been nights when I've been so sad, I felt like giving up. Imagine COVID, locked up in a room, your screen is your world. You have 2,500, 3,000 employees, and how do you pay them salary? I mean, Anjan Das case might be a higher number. And then you're depressed, right? And I'm very vocal about mental health, right? So imagine there are nights when you can't sleep, you break down.
Yeah.
But the best part is, your dreams, आपके सपने इतने बड़े होने चाहिए, आपको सोने ना दें. And I think that's what entrepreneurship has taught me. My dreams are so big, I don't sleep.
I will only say that lots of people came to talk to me, and from Calcutta particularly. I always told them one thing which you also will understand, and that's why we are here today, is never give up.
Yeah.
I agree.
Just don't give up.
Completely agree.
So what happens in Calcutta many a times, since you start with a small resource, and how many times have you failed? How many times have we failed?
agree.
Time and again. But वो जो spirit है कि boss
Bounce
कुछ
back
भी हो
करने
जाए, कुछ भी हो जाए, because life will throw challenges.
Yeah.
And उस वक्त अगर आप ज़्यादा इमोशनल हो जाते,
I agree.
नहीं
That I
यार
agree.
नहीं चला छोड़ दिया,
I agree.
वो last mile walk करना बहुत जरूरी
That's why
है.
your emotion should be your strength. It should not be a weakness.
You
Yeah,
are.
and I personally feel जो अंजन दा ने कहा ना, never give up, that never say die attitude. मतलब मैं एक चीज लाइफ में मानता हूँ अंजन दा, even a stopwatch, एक वॉच की अगर बैटरी खराब होगी ना, it shows time right twice a
a
day.
day.
Yeah.
तो मतलब कहीं ना कहीं तो होप है. मतलब अंधेरे के बाद उजाला तो आना ही आना है. We just have to hold on, just be there,
Yeah.
just stick around, hang on.
So I always believe in one thing. You can give somebody money, because a lot of people think that you
Yeah.
need money for business. No, not at all. It is one of the instruments, pillars.
I completely agree.
But money has to make money,
Yeah.
for which you need a big idea.
Yeah.
You need a big idea.
Idea and ideation, उसको execute करने वाला.
Execute.
एकदम.
अरे fourth P तो वही होता है ना, अगर
एकदम.
कहीं पे भी
मतलब मैंने देखा है सर, बहुत जन को आके आइडिया के बारे में बात करते हैं. See, we are entrepreneurs, they come to us for guidance.
Yeah.
And then I tell them कि, see, I don't know the business, but I give them 3-4 solutions कि ये कर लो, এটা करो now. I see after 2 years they again come back with the same thing. And then I ask them, did you implement? I asked you to implement. No. आप जब तक implement नहीं करोगे, आप जब तक हारोगे नहीं. See, not everything will become successful, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, trial error. That's
Yeah,
what make
yeah,
entrepreneurs, right?
और ideas तो हर दिन आते रहते हैं.
Yeah.
मतलब ideas क्या
You have
what
to
is the
think
value
कि
of
क्या
an idea
करना है,
if
क्या
it
नहीं
doesn't
करना है.
go?
Yeah, absolutely. How the implementation is more important. I mean, biggest example is, look at it, Indian Cricket League, ICL, and then IPL.
Yeah.
What a big boom, right?
Yeah.
So,
Difference, yeah.
I mean, small difference, but good example. And the other thing that I really want to say, and I keep saying this, कि अगर जिंदगी में कुछ करना है, आगे बढ़ना है, मुश्किलें आएंगी, सामना करना है, लड़ना है, लेकिन आगे बढ़ना है.
Yeah.
I'm so blown away by the level of conversation that for once two talkative souls like Shabba and I
And we
have,
are quiet.
Yeah, we just like shut up completely. So I'm really glad that you are making our lives a lot easier. We'll get back a little bit on a couple of points that I wanted to touch upon. One would be about you taking Tangra food international. I mean national, whatever. But
And
taking
very
it
soon
outside.
international.
Very soon international.
Anjan already has done it.
Yes.
Inshallah.
Inshallah, and it works out for you. And we're really hopeful you've made everything work so far. You've got the Midas touch, or we should call it
not
the
touch,
Sagar
but-
touch. So
I think people like you make us what we are.
Yeah.
You know, आप लोग
God's
खाओगे
grace.
नहीं, आप लोग मोमोज नहीं खाओगे तो हम कहाँ जाएंगे?
हाँ, exactly.
Yeah.
And but the Tangra movie, the Tangra Chinese, which is
Without
very
China.
interesting. A lot of people outside, and I'm hoping a lot of people catch on this outside. We have a lot of Bengalis living outside of Bengal. I mean, like all kinds of Bengalis, people who've grown up in Bengal or have some kind of connections. They don't. A lot of them don't know that the Tangra Chinese is very unique. There's no other Chinese culture which has been readopted
Yeah.
in any other place. that like the way it has been in Calcutta. Was there a particular reason of creating Wow China around that? And was there a message that you want to send out to the world through that?
Yeah, imagine a small area. I mean, a town, a mini town called Chinatown with some 500 restaurants at that point of time when I was a kid, and there used to be a queue and waiting outside every restaurant. So आप बचपन से देख रहे हो कि लोग चाइनीज खाना यहाँ पे खा रहे हैं. I have a dish in my menu called Indo chili chicken, and उसका description is tasty tangra style. I mean, I'm just saying it tasty tangra because everyone knows tangra का Chinese is tasty, right? हमारा लॉजिक था कि let's do देसी चाइनीज, let's give India the real देसी चाइनीज, चटपटा चाइनीज जो होता है, गरम गरम चटपटा चाइनीज,
which is nothing like actual Chinese. For whoever's
not at all.
Nothing
Actual Chinese is very bland.
That is as different from mainland China as you can get.
So Anjan,
No. There is an interesting thing.
Similarity.
See, both of us come from Tangra background. Come on.
Yeah.
Nobody can, because by the way, I'm sure you know it, but still for information, the only Chinese colony in India is in Tangra. Nowhere in this whole of India. They are the ones who brought this cuisine here. Like you go to any city, any town, any in world, you will see Chinese colonies. But in Chennai there is none, in Delhi there is none. So Tangra is only one. And mind you, 75% of the cooks or chefs actually brought Nelson Wong, the China Garden man, the legendary guy. Everything is from Tangra. So mind you, so that's what I say. And interestingly, we sell a Tangra chili chicken in Chaurangi.
Wow.
Why not?
Oh.
Yeah, because
पूरे दुनिया को खिलाएंगे.
Exactly.
Again, Calcutta
Tangra chili
Relevant.
So
Yes.
that's Calcutta relevance,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I will come back to this. So this Chinese is the most preferred foreign cuisine all over the world.
Okay.
And Indians like Chinese because of the reasons best known, but Bengalis drink Chinese. I can only say that. But noodle kop kore khabe, but ki je khache, keno je khache, but they are passionate. That includes myself.
And not just that. I mean, आप कहीं और इंडिया में जाओगे, Chinese menu you only see chicken at the max fish. आपको यहाँ सब मिलेगा, crab मिलेगा, prawn मिलेगा, shrimps मिलेगा, सब मिलेगा.
Where do you guys eat normally? Like when you're going out, where would you go out?
Love going to every restaurant, exploring every kind of food. Because when you're a foodie, right, you want to know what's happening. And for us, food is fun, right? I mean, it's a passion. I mean, people eat to live. I mean, we literally breathing to live. I mean to eat, because हम अगर खाना नहीं खाएंगे, and it also keeps you updated कि what's happening. It gives you new ideas, new innovations. I mean, I'm sure Anjan must have gone to so many of my outlets. I keep going to his outlets. Riyasan opened, I was like, नहीं जाके खाना है, Anjan का है. He opened something in the food court for the first time, Calcutta Canteen.
Yeah.
And on the first day, I also opened my store beside him, but I think I was his first customer.
But I'll come back to this family bit, and we promised that we would not keep this strictly about work, and there's so much mutual admiration flowing. This is really blowing my mind. But I'll come to your son as well, and this is something that I think a lot of like next generational entrepreneurs face. So I'm saying this as the son of a father who's achieved so much. He's built like 100 institutions, and we have 100,000 students. It's massive, right? 5,000 employees. And from that, inheriting something like that and making that, relevant in another way, right? Obviously, the way that business was done before is not the same anymore. Things have changed. How has it been working with your son? I've never asked like dads this question. I've always asked kids, how is it like working with your father? But I want to know from you what it's been like working with Avik.
It's the most difficult task.
Yeah?
One, because, we are the biggest dushmans of theirs. Because with due respect, we've created a benchmark. And they are coming
Big shoes to
with a
fill.
kind of a baggage. So my dad is like this and blah and blah and blah.
Right.
So,
Everyone compares constantly.
And alpha male.
Yeah.
The alpha male structure. So I can convince anybody on a business idea or something, but my son will ask me 23 questions my board will not ask, and I have to answer. And I must tell you.
Like somebody I know.
So he will say that always. He will have a different point of view, and which actually has helped me today. Initially, there was dishum and all that happening. Obviously, he was growing. He was also not so mature. But now, I think he's my best buddy. India, the biggest industry is follow-up industry.
It's what industry?
Follow-up
industry.
Supposing you have given... We used to have architects meeting every once in a week. I'm talking about London. Everybody was so prepared. And anything which was discussed in the minutes of the meeting, who, when, what... Date delivered. nobody would, supposing I sent a reminder mail, Karen will say, why are you sending me a reminder mail? I thought
already
it's
know.
on Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting ready for the Thursday meeting.
it'll be
Why are you
nice.
sending? अब यहाँ पे reminder नहीं दोगे तो क्या होगा?
यहाँ पे जमाने देखो तो कुछ नहीं होगा.
वो काम ही नहीं होगा.
You have to be at it. यहाँ पे तो you have to be at it.
Yeah, so I mean,
The
you know,
culture is that
The push
You-
culture versus
the
the
work
pull
culture.
culture.
yeah, so वो micromanagement क्या होता है कि आपको घुसना कब पड़ता है? You see, what happens is managers either delegate and forget, or forget to delegate. Delegate তো করনা পড়েगा नहीं तो দশ বুঝা আমরা নই,
Yeah.
10টা হাত তৈরি করতে
সবাই
হবে।
দুর্গা মা তো নয়।
না এক্স্যাক্টলি 10টা হাত তৈরি করতে হবে, হ্যান্ডস বলে যেটা আর কি, অর্কেস্ট্রায় যেটা হ্যান্ডস, হ্যাঁ অর্কেস্ট্রায় বলে না কটা হ্যান্ডস হয়।
And we can't make clones.
That's exactly, absolutely. So when you do, either you forget to delegate or delegate and forget. So many a times it so happens that मैंने बोला था भूल गया, तो हमको वो पकड़ के रखना पड़ता है भैया कि हम नहीं भूल सकते.
Yeah.
तो एक जगह पे
I
तो
agree.
this is what is the teaching of mine to all people down the line. I mean the main executive group.
And you know
which
what, I
runs
can
it.
relate to what he's saying because I go through the same thing. And with all of this, you have to keep your mind fresh for creativity. Because creativity, you know, it's top to bottom and bottom to top. You know, there's nothing known as कि यार वो अपने आप हो जाएगा.
कुछ भी अपने
You
आप
keep
बत्ती,
learning. बत्ती, हाँ.
दिमाग की बत्ती.
बात करते करते कुछ आ गया. You know, I mean, the way he says, I'm sure with his son, he's learning so much. Son is learning so much.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's two-way learning. Learning never stops.
Yeah, of course.
The day you stop learning in your profession, that means you're not enjoying your profession.
जब एक जमाने में क्या होता था, people would be secure in business, भाई ठीक है, my business is going license राज वगैरह वगैरह. Today, tomorrow morning, I don't know, my business model will be disrupted
Okay.
by someone. Look at, I call it the Uberization of business.
Yeah.
You look at what one single company and many more today which have come, they've completely broken. Today, my children in my house, and I'm sure all of you would know, friends, etc., Amazon. There's no shopping, man.
Yeah.
Amazon is that, so disruption.
Disruption.
And it's
So
not
suddenly all the retail is repositioned.
Yeah.
Even with Blinkit, you'll see like grocers growing the Blinkit way.
My
It's
dad
crazy.
who
I
used to
become so
never
used to
order.
it.
Never,
Yeah.
I mean,
Online.
He's now ordering from Blinkit और देखो 8 मिनट में आ गया, देखो 7 मिनट में आ गया. It's become like a game.
Yeah.
But initially I never understood this point. I was like 10 minute में grocery लगे क्या होगा? Now that I cook, I know कि अरे यार,
Yeah,
this
on
is actually-
time, yeah.
I have people waiting. I have to
Yeah, चाहिए तो अभी
host
चाहिए.
some 10
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
So what am I going to do if I don't have food at home? Right?
Convenience.
One silver lining
Convenience.
though, Sagar. I don't know if you've seen this.
Yeah.
The whole world is virtual now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
साला खाना virtual नहीं हो सकता है.
नहीं हो सकता. नहीं हम बच जाते हैं.
खाने को तो खाना पड़ेगा भैया.
हम
तो-
वर्चुअली दिखा के वो
हाँ वो तो एक्साइटमेंट कर सकते
excitement ला सकते
हैं. पैलेट को हम ये कर सकते हैं, एक्साइट टेस्ट बड को, लेकिन फॉर्चुनेटली फॉर
Yeah,
अस, सो वी आर हियर टू
कहीं
स्टे
ना
फॉर
कहीं वो जो बोलते हैं ना मेटावर्स. मेटावर्स में कुछ भी हो जाए, खाना तो यहाँ से
खाना तो
जाएगा.
यहाँ से ही जाएगा.
कुछ भी कर लो आप, तो खाना भी तो वो
Yeah,
मोमेंट
yeah,
ऑफ ट्रूथ है,
yeah,
वो अंदर
yeah.
डालना पड़ेगा. तो खैर
I
हमारी
mean, now I can
नौकरी
relate Anjan and me. You know, 5 years from now, having restaurants and metaverse, food going from here, another aggregator model.
Brilliant. Yeah. You never know that, you know.
never know.
And I'll buy the plot in between the two of your restaurants so that I can
Yeah.
get the most accessibility.
Somehow being in the business of advertising, from a catering school, I came to Taj, and then that also makes you a little more like when you build a restaurant, it's an art direction there.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
is something which
Creativity.
is happening somewhere. So that whole thing, and the eye for detail.
Yeah.
The eye for detail which builds up
Yeah.
over a period of time is something
See, we are in
incredible.
food retailing. Retail
Yeah.
is all about
Yeah.
detail. आपको छोटे-छोटे चीज बहुत मायने रखते हैं. आपकी वॉशरूम में भी ना, you go to your washroom, everything matters, whether the exhaust is working or not,
Yeah.
how easy it is to, you know, say it.
Accessibility is very
Accessibility.
important.
Everything is important. That's what makes you a brand. Small things.
But do you see a lot of difference in the attention for detail in India versus when you run a restaurant in London, for example? Does from the customer's perspective as well as from the perspective of the guys that work with you, do you see like a
So I'll be telling, we've always set up things for global standards because
Yeah.
I'm from the Taj and I've learnt everything from an international group.
Right.
So what happens there is, you see, I'll tell you the mark of a good restaurant is good washrooms.
Yes.
Bang
And speciality group, that's the first thing I noticed about the washrooms. When you enter it, there's a board that says, are you feeling cold? Do you need a shawl? Do you need this? Which is something that you would only get at a 5-star because the concierge would provide it. That is one of the things that they have. And as you said, that washroom is up to global
Yeah,
standards.
that's right. Because I'll tell you what, and another thing which is the back of the house. Now, Sagar, you know, with due respect to the best of restaurateurs and restaurants in Calcutta, which are favorites of mine because I get a swad there, I get a clean taste. But I go to their washroom and then I can see their kitchen wash up. I can see the kitchen wash. So back of the house, one of the things Mr. Arup Sarkar, when he came to my Guru Sad's restaurant, he didn't go to the restaurant. He said, Degi, tomar kitchen kota. He went inside and said, tomar hobe. So because of the fact that we have maintained HACCP standards, ISO 22000, the kind of cleanliness and hygiene, which actually bolstered all our businesses during pandemic.
I agree. It did.
Safety
Because
was
hygiene
a pillar.
was suddenly-
That pillar worked.
Our industry is known for health, hygiene, happiness. And brands like ours, why did we bounce back so fast? Because in 10, 15 years, in his case, maybe over 30 years, he's built that confidence among consumers, right? We've built that confidence. And ultimately, confidence sells. Today, you go to any of our stores, Wow Chana, Wow Chicken, you see the complete kitchen is visible. Because we believe in transparency. And if when your employees know it's visible now, so my customer, customer is my CCTV camera. Because they know customer dekh raha hai.
Calcutta is already being represented. People are secure, safe in working there. Some of them are coming out to do something dynamic and enterprise. But I can say it with conviction. You also work with a lot of Calcuttans and Bengalis. They're the best people to work with.
Oh, I agree. I completely agree. And I will go more than that and say, I'll just add to Anjan. I think Calcutta is the easiest and the best place to start a business. Had I been in Bombay or Delhi, I don't think Vamma could have come. I could have not started with 30,000. Till today, my corporate HO is here and will always remain here because I know the costs are in control.
With me.
Yeah.
It's
secondly, I don't want to get into politics, but trust me, the ease of doing business here is amazing. I mean, in a restaurant business, there's the joke that you need more licenses to run a restaurant than to buy a gun. And trust me, it's difficult everywhere, but it's much easier in Bengal than any other state. And I'm saying it with pride. It's people let you work and people work.
Oh my God, what a conversation!
What a conversation!
Yes, it's been almost like I take a little bit of time to process all of that information. One thing I've decided, there's so many nice punchlines throughout the episode. I'm going to make a series of. We have a bunch of artists that we.
There's another one I'll give you.
Give me.
Yes.
I mean, out of the tenet of understanding of manpower, I mean, I don't want to be sounding jargonistic, that, you have one person who's willing and he's unable. There are a lot of people who have got great, junoon hai, lekin wo able nahi hai us kaam mein. And then the second set is willing and able. They're the best people. I mean, you can't have, if you get more of them, I mean, you are a hero. Milte nahi hai, rare. And the third one is,
neither willing nor
no, unwilling, able. I was told by one of the HR guys in Colgate that start looking for the unwilling, able guy. And you will not believe, Sagar, you must have done that same thing. The cuisine of Calcutta, the cuisine of mainland China for that matter, Calcutta more. Because this was not there. Even 5 stars couldn't do this food. No offense meant to them.
I agree.
Even if you go to a Taj Bengal, Sonargaon, not to be quoted, with due respect, Shorshe Vada kotte pare na. I mean, I hope I will not be charged with that. I learned so much from the Taj, Indian hotel companies and everything. So I will say that, so how do you get chefs from anywhere? So we used to, my wife and myself, we used to groom people at home. Ranna shekache minuanti, and they were groomed to go and do the first only fish. And from there they have come up.
I completely agree with Anjan. I'll give you one more thing that I've believed in. My people keep telling me कि सर अच्छे लोग नहीं मिलते हैं. अगर सबको ही अच्छे लोग को लेंगे, शाबाश यदि भाव लोग ही नहीं मिले, average लोग ना कोথায় যাবে. Right? So my philosophy has been very, very clear. Take people who are not good, make them average. Average people को अच्छा बनाओ, अच्छा को सबसे अच्छा बनाओ. हाँ.
Willing को able
एकदम सही बोला दादा ने. Make average good and the good better than the best. That's the way you build people. And you build
because if you don't have hunger, you're conceited. Your पेट में भूख चाहिए. So also I'll tell you, we do a lot of skill development. We take boys from Mindapur. We take क्या चाहिए यार खाना बनाने के लिए, कौन सा PhD चाहिए आप बताओ. So we take them and train them. We have a small internal school which is in Salt Lake. Train them. There are retired chefs who come and do that. Now my point would be that there's another statement quote for you, is that hire for attitude, train for skills.
Bang
Higher
on.
attitude train for
You know, हमारे company में कोई rule नहीं है. You have to be class 8 pass or you graduate. Even a class 8 fail will do as long as you are willing to smile, work honestly with and you know willing to learn.
Yeah.
हम काम सिखा देंगे आपको. I have had instances where I have a class 8 fail who I took to Bangalore for my first store opening and there was so much rush वो डर के नीचे बैठ गया बोला सर मेरे से नहीं होगा I cannot work so hard. That guy today, you know, he runs a 3 crore market in Pune alone.
Bengal and Calcutta is our Mogojastro. You know, it's 100th year of centenary year of Shutritra. So, uni bolechilen Feludate, if you remember, Mogojastro. There is no ostro better than Mogojastro. And Calcutta gives you that intellect and keeps you feeding with that fertile base. So, you will see the best of Calcuttans and Bengalis are the chairman and managing directors all over the world. You know, there's a friend of ours called Ivan Menezes, and he's the head of Diageo worldwide, global. His wife, fortunately, is from Calcutta, and he was born and brought up in Calcutta. So, I mean, the day we opened Chorangi, he was standing there with his family, 3 of them. খুলে গেছে he was there. His father was a doctor. So no, his brother was the first CEO of Citibank worldwide, global. So my point would be that you know there is so much of fertility here because you know genetically Calcuttans are superior. I'm sorry, I don't want that.
Genetically Calcuttans are superior. I want that on my t-shirt.
See, I'll tell you what,
that's
it's a very rare combination you get in Calcutta.
Yeah.
You get dimag and you get hard work and you get passion. वो हर जगह नहीं मिलता है. कोडबो लोडबो जीतबो रे.
Absolutely right.
KKR के আমি কিন্তু rights দিতে পাচ্ছি না and I'm not going to be able to pay for if they
Imagine with the biggest star of Bollywood and people might debate Shah Rukh Khan which team he owns. Calcutta.
Yeah.
So I think today is going to go down in history as the foundation of the Calcutta Appreciation Society. I have already understood. Another t-shirt is going to be made Calcutta, you know, founders of Calcutta Appreciation Society. I will send it
You
to
should
both
get,
of you.
sorry to interrupt again, you should get Maharaj, I mean, one day here.
We will, absolutely.
Yeah,
One day.
Because
This is
you
the
know,
plan.
everybody
Of course.
knows.
And you know
all
what
of
we
this.
should do? I think like Anjan is in Bombay. I keep going to Bombay, Delhi. We should do something where we get Calcuttans in Bombay, Calcuttans in Delhi.
Yeah, that's right.
Together and talk about it.
Absolutely. Let's
Today,
go.
Zoom
Calcutta
barabar, Zoom
Appreciation
sharab.
And let's
Society
do
is
a
always
let's
do
do
this.
a
Let's do
let's do
Calcutta
a
Appreciation Society
Let's do a-
nationally in each
Yeah,
state.
yeah.
Every city should have a Calcutta Appreciation
absolutely.
Society.
Absolutely.
And let's do a national
And
conclave,
don't
a
worry,
national
I'll
day of
get you
celebration.
100,000s of Bengalis who are big fans globally.
Excellent.
That is, don't worry, I'll give you my whole list of people there.
ऐसे
yeah,
business
I'll get you
development होता है.
all.
This was the whole idea.
Yeah.
Calcutta से लोग भर के हर जगह. You know, you go in any flight, you'll definitely see a Bengali.
We decided that we'll only do it for 45 minutes. I think it's 1 hour.
I think
right?
it's 1
We'll go
hour.
short.
हो गया भाई, अभी तो छोड़ दो हमको.
More
अभी
than
तो,
an hour.
you know, it's more than that.
No, I think
you know,
guys,
this is
thank
like
you
a-
so much
हाँ.
everyone for tuning in. We've had a mind-blowing first episode. Shabba, I don't know about you. Tell me.
I feel like there is so much of the conversation that I still have to process and think about, and it's just been such a wonderful conversation having both of you here. You made our jobs a lot easier.
Absolutely.
And-
And not just easier, I think we have so much to look forward to now. Great ideas have come in on how we can together make this movement bigger. Thank you for being...
Pleasure.
Hopefully you will be brand ambassadors for the movement. You already are.
Absolutely.
Like the big
Inshallah.
first
One
members.
interesting thing. Did you know that we know each other?
We kind
Very well. So well. So it looks like a kind of, you know,
kind of like
conspiracy.
had an
कि
idea.
भाई चुना भी तो हम दोनों को
दोनों को
चुना और वो भी हमारे बचपन के, you know, we've seen each other grow, inspired
Yeah.
each other. So
They're
there's
master fabricators.
yeah,
मतलब
so
इनका-
yeah. I get that. So anyway,
होमवर्क करके आए हैं.
हाँ, लग रहा है अचानक हम लोग पढ़ाई करके आए.
इतना
you
अच्छा
know.
सेट बनाया तो
Yeah.
इंटेलेक्चुअली भी तो थोड़ा सा सेट यहाँ पे बनाना था. So thank you everyone for tuning
Thank
in.
you,
We'll
thank
see
you. Thank you
very,
very
very
much.
soon again.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Make Calcutta relevant again.
You already know.
Relevant again.